The night had settled over the countryside with a strange, unsettling stillness, the kind of silence that presses against the eardrums, heavy and unnatural, as if even the wind is holding its breath. James did not remember hearing footsteps, only the sharp snap of branches behind him. A sound so sudden it sliced clean through the darkness. Before he could turn, something slammed into him from behind. A hand. A force. A shadow moving too fast for his eyes to follow. His body hit the cold ground with a thud that knocked the air from his lungs. For one terrifying second, he thought this was it, that the long-feared reckoning had finally arrived. But death did not come. Instead, masked men materialized around him like wraiths, their breathing ragged behind cloth, their movements too calm for simple thugs. One pressed a heavy boot onto his shoulder, pinning him effortlessly. Another leaned down, studying his face with unsettling curiosity, as though comparing him to a memory. Moonlight caught on the metal glint of knives hovering just inches away, yet no one struck. It made no sense. They had him fully subdued. Ending his life would have been effortless. But they didn't. They whispered among themselves, words too low for him to catch, before the weight on his shoulder disappeared. The boot lifted. The figures slipped backward into the darkness, swallowed in seconds by the forest. They left nothing behind but crushed leaves, fading footsteps, and the frantic drum of James's own heartbeat. He lay frozen, not from injury but from bewilderment. If they wanted him dead, he would already be dead. A cold truth crawled into his mind. They never wanted him, not really, they wanted something else. Or someone. And the realization struck him like the blow the men never delivered, deep. Her laughter, her gentle voice, her soft worry when he came home late, her quiet strength when caring for little Nhi. She was the softest part of him. She was the weapon they intended to use. Deep woke before sunrise, her chest tight with a dread she couldn't explain. Beside her, little Nhi slept curled like a kitten, tiny hand resting over Deep's arm. The peacefulness should have soothed her. It only made her uneasier. Something was missing. Someone. James. She reached for her phone again, knowing exactly how it would end. One buzz. No ring. Then silence. The kind of silence that feels like an answer in itself. Maybe he's still busy, she whispered, but even she didn't believe the lie. By noon, her worry had grown into something sharp and unbearable. She stepped outside again and again, scanning the road as if sheer longing could pull him into view. Every sound made her turn. A rattling motorbike, a worker calling to a neighbor, a stray dog barking at nothing. But James never appeared. What she didn't know was that miles away, James was forcing his exhausted body through tall grass and thick brush, running on panic alone. Every second felt like a countdown. He saw Deep's face with every breath, her shy smile. The softness in her eyes, the quiet way she said his name. Please let her be safe, he whispered to the cold wind. Back at the house, Deep could no longer sit still. She wrapped little Nhi in a jacket and carried her out. We'll go look for Uncle James. Okay. Nhi nodded sleepily, unaware of the danger pressing in from all sides. As they walked down the dusty road, Deep felt the sensation before she understood it. Eyes on her, she spun around. Nothing, only rustling leaves, only distant truck engines. But across the street, half hidden behind trees, a man lowered a pair of binoculars. She's moving, he reported through a small radio. Good, a voice crackled back. Keep eyes on her. The girl must remain unharmed. The woman, do not lose her. The man smirked and raised the binoculars again. James ran all night for nothing, he muttered. He's too late. James's legs burned. His lungs clawed for air, but he ran. Branches whipped his arms, roots caught his feet. None of it mattered. Only reaching Deep mattered. Only outrunning the people hunting them, hunting her, mattered. Meanwhile, Deep moved deeper into the quiet part of the village. The cicadas buzzed loudly, unnaturally. The houses dwindled. Something felt wrong. Deep, when will James come back? Little Nhi asked, lifting her sleepy head. Soon, sweetheart, Deep promised, though her own hands trembled. Behind her, the watchers followed. More men now. Silent. Focused. Target heading toward the old bridge, one radioed. Do not approach yet, came the immediate reply. Wait for the order. And remember, the man doesn't matter. The woman is the priority. Deep didn't know she was the reason James had been attacked. She didn't know someone had dug into her past, her family's land, old feuds still simmering like forgotten embers. Hurting James would achieve nothing, but hurting her, that would shatter him completely. Just as intended, a sudden motorbike roared too close. A man passed slowly, eyes lingering on her far too long. Deep turned away, clutching Nhi tightly. She's scared now, the biker said into his helmet mic. We're ready whenever you give the signal. At that exact moment, James finally burst onto the far end of the main road. Dirt-covered, trembling, half-broken, but still running. He scanned wildly, and then he saw her. Deep, holding NHI, standing alone. His heart nearly stopped. Deep, he shouted, but a truck roared past, swallowing his voice whole. He waved, he screamed, but the world seemed built to keep them apart. She turned into a narrow alley near the old bridge. The worst place she could go. James's panic exploded. Deep, stop, but she didn't hear him. The men following her did. He's here, one muttered. Doesn't matter, came the reply. Do not kill him yet. But if he interferes, restrain him. James didn't see them until a strong arm clamped around his neck from behind. Another grabbed his arms. He fought, desperate, but exhaustion made him slow. Pain from the previous night screamed through his body. Let me go, he roared, voice cracking. The leader stepped into view, calm, almost amused. You weren't supposed to arrive yet, he said. If you touch her, James growled. The leader laughed softly. Touch her? James, she is the key. She's the one who can bring your entire world down. You should ask your father why. James froze. What are you talking about? But the leader simply smirked. Focus on staying alive today. That's enough. Unaware of the chaos behind her, Deep stepped deeper into the alley. Little Nhi stirred nervously in her arms. Home ne con kong thich cho ne do, the child whispered. It's okay, Deep murmured, forcing calm she didn't feel. We're almost home. But when she reached the end, she stopped cold. A man stepped out and blocked her path. Another appeared behind her. A third, the motorbike rider, parked at the exit. The alley became a cage. Her knees weakened. Her arms tightened protectively around Nhi. What do you want? She whispered. The leader tilted his head, almost kindly. You. It was always you. Behind them, a voice broke through the air, raw, desperate, cracking with fear. Deep, James. She turned, hope and terror mixing in her eyes, but the men moved too fast. One seized her wrist. Another tore Nhi from her arms. James reached the corner just in time to see Deep pulled away. And then she was gone. In the quiet aftermath of chaos, truths surface slowly, the kind that only reveal themselves once the dust settles. The ordeal James and Deep endured teaches 4 unyielding lessons.